Welcome to Veteach. Whatever the data is to be collected from the primary sources and the secondary sources, so in that the quantitative and categorical variables. So this is the content of our first unit. So data is a specific measurement of the variable. It is the value you record in your data sheet. Data is generally divided into the two categories. One is to be quantitative data represents, that should be in terms of the amounts, and the categorical data represents, that is to be grouping. So like that, whatever the information you have to collected from both the primary sources and the secondary sources or the secondary data, so in that, so you can categorize it into the two parts. One is to be quantitative data represents amounts, and the second one is to be categorical data represents under the grouping. So now the variables that should be present in that, so that is to be in the quantitative data, that is called as the quantitative variable, and the variable is to be present in the categorical data, that is to be categorical variable. So again, the quantitative variables are to be classified into a variable that contains the quantitative data is called as the quantitative variable, and a variable that contains the categorical data is a categorical variable. Each of these variables can be broken down into the further types, that is to be quantitative variable and the categorical variable. Quantitative variable means the variable is to be present in that quantitative data, that is called the quantitative variable. Again, we have to further divide it into the two parts, that is to be discrete variable and the continuous variables. So discrete variable means it takes the finite values, then the variable is called as the discrete variable, and the continuous means it takes the infinite values also. Okay, so in that quantitative variables, so again have to divide into the two parts. The one is to be descriptive and the continuous case. So where the descriptive variables and the continuous variables are to be present, that is, so here this is what does the data represent, that is counts the individual items or the values, whereas in the continuous variables the measurement of the continuous are the non-finite values. The best examples of the discrete cases are to be number of the students are to be present in a classroom, and the number of the different tree species in a forest. Okay, so and also in a classroom that is to be having how many number of the boys and how many number of the girl students are to be there. So then because those are to be the finite values, then that is to be coming under the category of the discrete variables. In that similar way, the continuous variables are to be distance and the volume and the age of a human being. Like that, these are to be examples for the continuous variables. In that similar way, the categorical variables are to be classified into the three types, depending upon the variable is to be present in the categorical data. That is to be split into the three parts, that is binary variable, and a nominal variable and ordinal variable. Like that, we have to split into the three types. The type of the variable is to be binary. Binary variable means it takes only the 1 or 0 simply. So or yes or no, or true or false, like that. These are the examples. Heads are the tails in a coin flips, and also win or loss in a football game. So like that. So we can split the categorical variables into the two parts, that is to be binary variables, and the second one is nominal variables. Nominal variables means it groups with the number of the with no rank or order between them. So the best example is the colors in WebGR, and also the brands and the species of the names of the trees in a forest, like that. So this is nominal variables. And ordinal variables means so we have to group and give the rank in a specific order, then those type of the variables are called as ordinal variables. The best example is to be finishing the place in a race. Next one, rating a scale responses in a survey, like that. So you can collect the data, that is groups that should be ranked in a specific order. So these are the ways of splitting of the variables, that is quantitative and the categorical variables. Quantitative variables means there are the two types of the variable should be present in the quantitative, that is called the quantitative variable. You have to split into the two parts. One is called as that is discrete variable and the continuous cases. Discrete means that is the finite value, and continuous means it takes the infinite, okay, up to the end. So next one in this categorical variable. So again we have to split into the three parts, that is to be binary variable. Binary variable means that is to be having either yes or no, or true or false, or 1 or 0, like that. All those are to be examples for the binary variables. And the nominal variables means groups with no rank or order between them, that is the colors and the brands. Okay, similarly the species of the names. Next one, ordinal variables means groups that are to be ranked in a specific order, finishing the place in a race, and the rating a scale responses in a survey. So like that, have to categorize into the variables into the two parts, that is categorized variable and quantitative variables. Now, coming to the next concept is to be data visualization. So what is the importance of this data visualization? So in that previous step, what we have to follow, we can collect the information, either it is to be primary data or the secondary data. From that data, so we have to visualize. How? In a similar visualization, data visualization means suppose in a classroom that is to be having 16 member of the students, in which all the students are to be passed. So that is with 70%, that is we have to represent it in the form of the histograms and a frequency polygon diagram, and also pie diagram, pie charts, like that. We have to visualize. So automatically the interpretation of the data clearly we can identify. That is the main purpose of the data visualization. So in that data visualization is a graphical representation of the information and the data by using of the visual elements like charts, graphs, and the maps. Data visualization tools provide an accessible way to see and understand trends, outliers, and the patterns in the data. In the world of the big data, data visualization tools and the technologies are essential to analyze massive amounts of the information, make the data driven decisions. So like that, big data analysis means that is a lot of information is to be there. For example, in our India, that is to be having 134 crores of the population are to be available. So this is about the lot of big data is to be there. In that, how many from that data, so how much percentage of the OC candidates are to be available, and how much BC candidates, and how much SC and ST, like that we can easily segregate. So this data is to be, we can easily identify by using of the charts and also the histograms and the pie graphs, like that. We have to visualize the data. Okay, there are the data visualization that is to be having so many contents are to be there. So the one is to be charts and the tables and the graphs and the maps, infographics, and the dashboards. So nowadays we can use the technique of dashboards. Whatever the chief ministers, what we have to follow, that is to be these dashboards only. So to see the data visualization only. And also more specific examples of the methods of the visualization data is to be area chart and bar chart, bubble chart, and bullet graph, and circle view, heat map, highlighted table, histogram. Histogram means so you can draw the diagrams so in the form of a rectangular boxes. And also circle view. Circle view means so you can represent the given data in the form of the pie charts. So that is the circle view. So how much area is to be are educated, or how much the persons are to be uneducated, like that. This information you have to collect it from the circle view only. And also similarly area chart and the bar chart. And also that we have to represent in the form of the matrix and the network, polar area, and the text tables, timeline, tree map, and any mix and match combination in a dashboard. So this is the purpose only for data visualization only. So you have to learn the things of so how we can draw the graphs and the bar charts. So this is the part of the only data visualization purpose one. Okay. So up to now, so we'll complete the total contents of the unit 1. So in the next parts we will go for the curve fitting and regression lines. These contents we have to see in the next video. Thank you.